The very moment a doctor hands over a written prescription to a patient, that's exactly when the pharmaceutical company loses control over what happens next. For decades, the promotion of oral antibiotics has followed a strict formula, claiming to be the most powerful, showing broad-spectrum visuals and flooding clinics just to build brand recall. In the Cefixime market, that old playbook stands exposed. Doctors are already well acquainted with the molecule, and pharmacies are fully stocked with generic alternatives. The traditional model considers the written prescription as the commercial finish line, assuming that once a brand is written, it will definitely be dispensed and used correctly. This split-screen diagram shows a regulatory constraint that simply cannot be negotiated. The outdated volume expansion funnel has now been replaced by the World Health Organization's EVA framework. Cefixime falls under the WATCH group, which enforces a strict cycle, no pushing for higher volumes, responsible selection, and precise usage only. Campaigns to expand antibiotic use are strictly prohibited. If a brand cannot push for more total Cefixime initiations, its commercial growth will have to be developed from a completely different source. The strategy now targets the unmonitored 72-hour window of post-prescription drift that occurs after the doctor's initial clinical decision. Commercial growth now relies on capturing the path of the Cefixime prescription after the clinician has independently decided that the molecule is suitable. To understand this drift, this timeline shows the patient's reality after the prescription, from day 0 to day 7. The degradation starts right away with the selection leak, where the patient lumps the brand together with generic Cefixime, disconnected from the doctor's guidance. The dispensing leak is the most serious commercial threat. The prescription reaches the pharmacy counter, where the brand is substituted either because of availability or simply out of habit. For those who leave with the correct product, the regimen leak comes next, where they misunderstand the exact instructions. At the 48 to 72-hour point, the timeline reaches a crucial checkpoint. If the patient faces no response or only partial improvement, they interpret these signs on their own, outside the clinic's supervision. The completion leak drains away whatever clinical fidelity is left, as patients either stop taking the medicine early or unnecessarily prolong it. Finally, leftover tablets lead to the re-entry leak, where patients skip clinical diagnosis during the next episode. The prescribing doctor usually does not see any of this breakdown at all. They believe that the anchor they set on day 0 has stayed firm. The main challenge for the brand is figuring out how to get visibility and operational control over this blind spot without breaking the strict stewardship rules that apply to watch group antibiotics. Brands that are heavily promoted end up losing out in the unmonitored gap between the pharmacy counter and the patient's home. The Cefixime 72-hour infection review program works as a clinic-controlled operating system designed to plug these leaks. The core of this system is its strict compliance boundary. It gets activated only after the consultation is over and only when the doctor has independently chosen Cefixime. The patient can access the system through a clinic QR code or a WhatsApp link. As you can see in this wireframe, the interface is strictly clinic branded, with absolutely no pharmaceutical branding and no general antibiotic advice given. To stop the dispensing leak, the interface provides a prescription clarity card. It clearly tells the patient to get the exact product prescribed by the clinic and to refuse any unapproved substitutions by the pharmacy. At the 48 to 72-hour point, the software starts a response check. It sends a prompt to the patient asking whether their symptoms are getting better, staying the same, or getting worse. This software strictly follows clinical boundaries and never tries to diagnose a condition or change the treatment plan on its own. The routing protocol works as a filter. As you can see, the data flow completely skips the pharma sponsor, spotting any significant deviations and sending them straight back to the clinician's dashboard. When the prescribed course is over, the system runs a recurrence loop. It tells the patient to safely throw away any leftover medicine and asks them to come back to the clinic if there are any new episodes, closing the re-entry gap. The data governance is absolute. The system works with only the minimum required data points and makes sure the sponsor has no access at all to any patient-identifiable clinical information. To make this work, there needs to be a change in the field force. The sales representative stops using generic talk and instead starts setting up real IT workflows for the clinic. By underwriting the software with strict compliance, the pharmaceutical brand ensures continuity in dispensing and maintains clinical accuracy, effectively becoming an underwriter of critical infrastructure. Although the mechanics of the 72 hours software stay the same, how a brand uses it commercially depends on its competitive position in the market. A universal tool needs a very specific strategy. We map these competitive positions into 3 categories: market leader, challenger, and selective share. The goal of the market leader is to protect its position as the default choice. They roll out the software on a large scale to standardize clinic workflows, stopping challengers from using stewardship as a reason to make doctors switch. The leader focuses on doctors by providing a tool that helps them manage prescriptions that are already appropriate. The challenger approaches things differently. Since they can't beat the leader in brand recall, challengers use this workflow to break the doctor's usual prescribing habits. By introducing a better control system, the challenger makes the current leader seem like an old-school volume seller whose usefulness stops at the pharmacy counter. Finally, the selective share or niche brand completely steps away from the national competition. They don't try to capture all Cefixime prescriptions. These brands roll out the software only in high-leakage areas, specific regions where pharmacy substitution is common, or clinics where patients are not followed up, thereby owning a very targeted market segment. Most importantly, this gives them a first-mover advantage. The same clinic access to this software cannot be given to direct competitors in the same area at the same time. The old business rule of winning recall and asking for the prescription is now outdated. The new requirement is quite demanding. A brand must secure the initial choice of molecule, safeguard the prescription's intent at the pharmacy, and ensure the patient's clinical response within 72 hours is captured. The next big shift in market share will go to the brand that becomes the clinic's unquestioned control system.